Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, I want you to think for a second about that feeling. You know the one. Persistent sluggishness. Maybe you actually got a full 8 hours last night. You ate okay, not terribly, but come mid-afternoon, say 3 p.m., your brain just feels foggy, like a sponge. And all you want is a nap. It's so easy to just blame stress, right? Or think, I just need more coffee. We've all been there. But what if that chronic low focus, that drained feeling, what if it isn't just about your brain or even lack of sleep? What if it's, well, more like a plumbing problem? Today, we're doing a deep dive into a connection that's often missed, I think. The link between feeling tired all the time, your mental clarity, and how well your cardiovascular system is actually working, your circulation. So our mission here is to unpack the sources we've looked at that connect your energy levels directly to your circulation. We're going to break down what your blood pressure numbers are really telling you. And we'll analyze the specific claims around natural approaches, including the supplement called Cardio Shield, which claims to boost focus and stamina by, optimizing blood flow. All right, let's dig in.
Yeah, it's really interesting because this feeling is so common, right? But the root cause often gets, well, missed. We tend to think of fatigue as purely psychological, maybe stress-related. But the research suggests it's often more fundamental, like a basic delivery issue in the body. If your circulation, that delivery system, is struggling, then the cells in your muscles, and crucially your brain cells, they just aren't getting that consistent, high-quality fuel they need to function properly. And to really understand this delivery system, we absolutely have to start with probably the most vital metric we have, blood pressure. It's the key indicator. It tells us so much about cardiovascular health, always expressed as those two numbers, like 120 over 80.
Right, 130, 80 millimilli Hg. We see those numbers, like you said, everywhere, pharmacy kiosks, the doctor's office. But I think for most of us, our eyes kind of glaze over unless the doctor specifically flags it as too high. So let's break down that pair, systolic, diastolic. What are they actually measuring, and why is that difference so important?
Oh, the distinction is critical. So the top number, that's your systolic pressure, that measures the force of the blood against your artery walls when your heart is actively beating, pushing blood out. It reflects the peak stress your arteries are under with every single pump.
Okay, peak stress. Got it.
Then the bottom number, the diastolic pressure, this one is often more revealing when we talk about chronic strain on the system. It measures the pressure inside your arteries when your heart is at rest, between beats. Now, if that number is consistently high, let's say over 80 most of the time, it suggests your arteries might be getting stiff, or maybe the pressure is just so high overall that your cardiovascular system never really gets a proper break. It can't fully relax and recover.
Wow. Okay, so if the system is always on, never getting that rest period, how does that translate into feeling tired or foggy day to day? Because, poor circulation, high blood pressure, it sounds like a mechanical issue, not necessarily an energy issue.
But it absolutely becomes an energy issue because of oxygen delivery. Think about it like garden hoses. Your arteries are like a network of hoses. If the water pressure is constantly too high, or if the hoses themselves are stiff and less flexible, the flow becomes inefficient. It's not smooth. And the oxygen and nutrients, the very things your brain cells and muscle cells need to function, they get delivered inconsistently. It's throttled.
Throttle, that's a good word for it.
Exactly. And when that supply chain is restricted, the impact is felt most immediately in the areas that need the most fuel, like the brain's prefrontal cortex. That's the part handling focus, decision-making, all that executive function stuff. When those cells are starved for fuel, even slightly, they kind of go into a low power mode protectively. And that shows up as that mental fog we hate, that feeling of just running on empty no matter how much sleep you think you got.
That reframing is huge. Seeing high blood pressure, not just as a heart risk, but as something that's literally throttling your brain's fuel supply, that's an aha moment for sure.
Yeah.
So let's flip that. When the system is working well, when blood flow is optimal, what are the benefits? The sources talk about some pretty immediate noticeable gains.
Oh, definitely. When circulation is free-flowing, everything just works better. You're maximizing the delivery of nutrients and oxygen everywhere. And that translates directly into what you want, right? Sharper focus, quicker thinking, because that prefrontal cortex is fully fueled and happy.
Okay, so better brain function. What else?
Well, physically too. Better stamina, more endurance. You feel less wiped out during the day because your muscles are getting the oxygen they need and waste products are being cleared out efficiently. And interestingly, the sources also link good circulation to better stress management and even mood stability, probably because the body isn't stuck in that low-grade stress state that comes with systemic strain.
Right. So let's contrast that ideal state with what the sources call the low fuel state. We mentioned high blood pressure, but What else causes this sluggish, restricted circulation?
Yeah, besides chronic high BP, the main culprits discussed are arterial stiffness, the pipes literally becoming less flexible, often with age and plaque buildup, which physically narrows those pipes, atherosclerosis.
Okay, physical blockages or stiffness.
But there's also that silent factor. Stress-induced hypertension. Chronic stress keeps releasing hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones cause vasoconstriction. They tell your arteries to tighten up. That's fine for a short burst, like escaping danger. But if you're stressed constantly, then your system is always fighting against these narrowed vessels. It's exhausting for the system.
So when that delivery is sluggish, simple things feel harder.
Absolutely. Walking upstairs, concentrating on a task, everything requires more effort just to overcome that circulatory drag. Realizing your daily exhaustion might have a vascular component, not just mental, that's really the first step to finding a real solution.
Definitely. Which naturally leads us to, okay, what can we do about it? If the issue is systemic efficiency, what does the research say about boosting that naturally? The sources we look at introduce this supplement, Cardio Shield. Is presented as research-backed, aimed at helping maintain healthy blood pressure and promoting optimal circulation.
Yeah.
But I have to pause here for a sec. We know things like exercise, just moving your body, naturally help release nitric oxide, which relaxes arteries. So why would the sources point towards a supplement instead of just saying everyone needs to exercise more?
That's a fair question. And the sources seem to frame it more as maintenance and protection. The claim isn't that it replaces exercise. Exercise is crucial, but rather the supplement is designed to provide ongoing support, working with the body's natural systems, especially, if age or other factors might be slowing down those natural processes. They emphasize the goal is restoring vitality naturally, not giving you a jolt like some stimulant would.
Okay, so support and maintenance, not a replacement for lifestyle.
Exactly. So if we look impartially at the claims in the material, there are basically four main ways it's said to work. First, the big one, supporting nitric oxide production, or NO. Like you said, NO is the key molecule that signals your blood vessels to relax and widen vasodilation. So the claim is that by providing precursors or support for NO, it helps improve flow fundamentally.
Okay, helps keep the pipes open, lowers pressure. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's number two?
Second is combating oxidative stress. This is the protection angle. Think of oxidative stress as like internal rust building up in your circulatory system. These things called free radicals damage the delicate inner lining of your arteries, the endothelium. If that lining gets damaged, it can't produce nitric oxide properly and arteries get stiffer. So the supplement claims to have antioxidants that neutralize this rust, keeping that internal surface healthy and functional.
Protecting the lining.
Okay.
And third?
Third is more general. Promoting healthy circulation overall. This seems to be a combination effect, ensuring efficient oxygen and nutrient delivery by supporting the vessel's integrity. It's sort of a catch-all for the system working well.
Right. And the fourth claim, the one that really ties back to our initial problem, boosting natural energy. How do the sources explain this without involving stimulants like caffeine?
Yeah, they're quite clear on this. The claimed energy boost isn't artificial. It's supposed to be a direct result of restored efficiency. The idea is if your cells were only getting, say, 70% of the fuel they needed because of sluggish circulation, and you improve that delivery to maybe 95%, you naturally feel more energetic and less fatigued. It's about bringing your body back to its optimal operating level, not artificially revving the engine, no jitters, no crash.
That distinction is really important, I think, for anyone looking for sustainable energy, not just a quick fix. But as we always say, and as the research really hammers home, a supplement is just one piece of the puzzle, right? To really unlock that sustained, focused energy, you have to combine it with solid, healthy habits. It's the whole package that provides real reinforcement.
Absolutely. It's never just one thing.
So let's dig into those habits. The source material lays out 5 key pillars for maximizing circulatory health. We should probably touch on why each one matters, linking it back to the mechanics we discussed.
Definitely. So, pillar number 1, stay active. We know exercise is good, but why for circulation? Well, regular aerobic exercise does more than just strengthen the heart. The increased blood flow during exercise actually forces the artery walls to stretch and become more flexible over time. It's like a workout for your arteries, preventing that stiffness that leads to high diastolic pressure.
A workout for your arteries, I like that. Okay, pillar 2, eat smart. And this needs specifics, not just eat healthy. The sources mention particular foods or nutrients.
Yes, definitely. It's about strategic nutrition for your vessels. Leafy greens are often mentioned, likely for nitrates, which can convert to nitric oxide. Omega-3s from fish for inflammation and vessel health. And the sources specifically highlighted things like L-citrulline, found in watermelon rind, for example. It converts to L-arginine in the body, which is a direct precursor for nitric oxide production.
Ah, so providing the building blocks.
Exactly. And critically, managing sodium. Too much salt leads to fluid retention, which increases blood volume, putting more pressure on those artery walls. So lower sodium helps keep the pressure down.
Very practical. Pillar 3, hydrate well. Seems basic, but what's the mechanism connecting water intake to blood flow and fatigue?
It's simple physics, really. When you're dehydrated, your blood literally gets thicker, more viscous. And thicker blood is just harder for your heart to pump around. Your heart has to work overtime to push that sludge through your system compared to smooth flowing liquid. That extra work uses energy, contributing directly to fatigue, even if your BP numbers look okay on paper. Staying hydrated is maybe the easiest way to reduce that cardiovascular workload.
Makes total sense. Okay, pillar 4 touches on something we mentioned earlier, manage stress. Since chronic stress silently hikes up blood pressure, what are the most effective ways to counteract that for vascular health?
The key seems to be activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. Techniques like slow, controlled breathing exercises are powerful here. When you breathe slowly and deeply, it actually sends signals via the vagus nerve telling your body it's safe. This, in turn, tells the smooth muscles around your arteries to relax. You can get an immediate, measurable drop in blood pressure just from a few minutes of mindful breathing. So it's not just woo-woo relaxation, it's direct vascular management.
Mindfulness is a biological tool. Powerful. And the final pillar, number 5, rest well. Why is sleep so crucial specifically for the heart and arteries?
Sleep is prime recovery time for the entire cardiovascular system. Your heart rate and blood pressure naturally dip to their lowest points during deep sleep. This gives the artery walls a vital period of lower stress, allowing them to recover from the day's work. If you don't get enough quality sleep, your system stays in a higher state of arousal. It often fails to reach that necessary low-pressure recovery zone, which just compounds the daily wear and tear, leading to more stiffness and strain over time.
Okay, so pulling this all together, the big takeaway seems to be, if you're constantly battling that frustrating brain fog, that deep fatigue that sleep doesn't seem to fix, maybe stop blaming just your schedule or stress levels. The root cause might actually be deeper in the mechanical efficiency of your heart and your blood flow.
Right. And understanding those blood pressure numbers, especially that diastolic, the resting pressure, gives you a real window into your body's energy capacity. It suggests that maybe getting back your energy isn't always about adding more stimulants, but about restoring your body's own internal supply chain through, a targeted support in those crucial foundational habits.
So here's something to think about. If you've been dealing with that kind of fatigue, the one that coffee doesn't touch and sleep doesn't cure, maybe it's time to shift your focus. Look beyond just sleep patterns. Start paying attention to your cardiovascular efficiency. Maybe track that diastolic blood pressure reading for a while. What could that number tell you about your daily energy, about your body's real potential?
It's worth exploring that connection,
Yeah.
applying these habits, focusing on vascular health. It might just be the key to supporting your body's engine more effectively. Thanks for diving deep with us today.